Okay. Yeah, so this one is 200 pages. What's that? I know from previously being a CEO of Farrer Park to being a former CEO of Glen Eagles Hospital with 30 over years of experience in both the public and the private sector. Okay, and you can see here again. There's so many things there, but I want to point out here. Most media savvy personality, yeah. So I remember Dr. Tim sent us, he got some special awards, from LinkedIn and all this, because he is a most prolific writer. I think consistently one. Yeah. Not only that, Dr. Timothy is also an author. Okay. So he came out with this book. When do you publish this? 2023. Okay, so so it's very recent. Okay, so 2023, yeah, that he published this book. So it's about management, and this. Well, if you talk about principles of management, frankly, I think not only can you use it in the work environment, you can also use it at home. Okay, all right, and okay, so this is. I just want to show you. This is before. By the way, so I know Dr. Tim since 2022, yeah. So he looked like this one. So I think the best testimonial is always before and after, So you like or not? You see the difference or not? Okay. So Dr. Tim has obviously benefited from our technology. He used himself as like a test rat. rabbit, not rabbit. Okay, where he clinically trialed on himself. Okay. So with that, I'm going to invite Dr. Tim up front. Okay, let's give a round of applause to Dr. Tim. Okay. Now, before I hand over the floor to Dr. Tim, I just want to ask a few questions, just a few questions. Okay. Okay, Dr. Tim. How did you come across LifeWave, and why did you decide actually to try patching LifeWave?
Well, thank you, Jonas, and good morning to everyone. Why did I try? It's because you came to see me. Anyway, I think 1 year back, thereabouts, Wendy, his partner in crime, Jackie, I didn't see him yet. Jonas came to see me when I was in Farrer Park, when I was running Farrer Park Hospital. So they came to see me and said that they have this new technology, which is interesting, because I've always been interested in new technology, innovation that can make a difference to people's lives. So that's why you see me in Pavilion Capital, part of Temasek. I was head of healthcare investment, looking at all the innovations around the world to see what to invest in for Singapore. That was after I left Farrer Park in between. So why did I use it? There it is. I found that it is interesting, it is innovative, and because I like to do clinical trials, or previously I was running clinical trials for drugs. Before you have any drugs that come to the market or any medicine that comes to the market, you need to do clinical trials in animals and in humans, right? So I like to do clinical trials, so I tried it on myself for about a year.
More or less.
More or less. So so that's why
Okay.
I tried it.
Okay, yeah. I remember the first time I was invited, to see Dr. Tim at Farrer Park Hospital. Of course, he invited us to a lounge, a special lounge. Only CEO can go. Yeah. Boy, got free breakfast and more.
It's because we have a hotel. One Farrer hotel belongs to us, the 5-star hotel, the hospital, and its medical center. So brought them to the hotel.
Yeah. So what was really impressive was the fact that Dr. Tim was so open, to hearing about our technology. Yeah. So we had a very good conversation, I think, right from the start already. Yeah. Okay, so let me get to the second question. Were you patching for any health condition, and how was your experience patching LifeWave?
I've always had this aching neck and shoulder. Right? It started actually when I was in my 30s. If you know, you can count, you know how old I am. So it started when I was in my 30s. I had to actually fly to Chicago. So my boss one day was saying, you got to fly to Chicago tonight, or rather today. I said, today? Singapore to Chicago? There may not be any tickets, right? Plane tickets. He said, this is a multi-million-dollar project. We want to win it. I want you to fly. So I'm kind of like, okay. So, I went to look, no economy ticket, full, SQ lah. Business class, full, only left first class. Then I said, boss, only first class ticket. That was $10,000, I think, when I was in my 30s, like 20 over years ago. 10,000 was a lot of money, right? But for the company, he said, multi-million-dollar project, you go. So, okay, I went. Although it's first class on Singapore Airlines, but because it took me about 32 hours to get to Chicago, door to door, Singapore to Chicago. It was quite tedious. So I think that sort of aggravated my neck condition. It became tight. It was painful. It ran down my arm in terms of the pain, numbness. So I tried a lot of things subsequently. I mean, I went there to Chicago, I presented, next day, fly back to Singapore. So it's, so it's that tedious. But anyway, we won the project. So it was tedious and painful. Along the way, I tried many things. Of course, being a doctor, I can just prescribe whatever medicine I need, right? In terms of painkillers, muscle relaxants, different type of painkillers, affected my stomach because of gastric, right? Because if you take a lot of painkillers, you have gastric problem. So along the way, when you came and said, okay, non-transdermal. Non-transdermal means, trans means going through a trance. Dermal means skin. Non-transdermal means nothing going through the skin. Right? So basically, okay, good. Something new to try. Although he said it's been around for 20 years from the US, 2004 it started, 20 years. Then I said, wow, 20 years, how come only 2 years come to Singapore? Right? So sometimes good things don't come out from the US. So I mean, I tried it and it helps, it works, not only for the pain, but also the anti-aging effect. A bit vain, right? Every one of us. So it's good.
Okay, all right, wonderful. Hey, by the way, so if you guys have not figured out yet, Dr. Timothy is really medical doctor. He's not one of those, get PhD type or whatever. Because I had a few people who asked me, say, hey, is he a doctor? A really doctor? Yeah. So it is really a medical doctor. Okay. Okay, so anyway, I think I'm not going to take up more time, okay, with your presentation. So I'm going to hand over right now to Dr. Tim. Can we give another round of applause?
Okay. I think this is a better microphone. Okay, I'm going to go through with you or share with you certain things that I've read, because for a doctor to give a patient any medicine or anything that we recommend, there must always be evidence, right? Evidence means there must be some proof. Otherwise, we can start giving many things and then, you will not believe. And also for us, we need to make sure that there's evidence. And where does evidence come from? Clinical trials. So when we do clinical trials in animals and humans, then we get the evidence. And then we can say that this we can recommend. And also, we won't be sued, because for recommendation to give to patients, we must make sure that it is safe. Right? So what are stem cells? Right? So some people get very, confused when you say stem cells. Because when you have a baby, the baby comes out with 100% stem cells activity within the baby. And you saw Jonas showing, by the time you reach 60 years old and beyond, stem cells activity goes down 5% compared to baby 100%. Or when you're in your 40s or your 30s, it goes down to like 25%, right? So it is the simplest unit of a living matter, which is your cell, the simplest unit. Stem cells, you see, it serves a lot of purpose. It repairs our body. Every time you get injury, you need to repair your body internally. It's your stem cells repairing. So you see children, when they fall down, they get cut, or they fracture their hand, fracture their leg, very fast they get healed very fast. But you see older people, when they fall or they break their hips, for the older people, or break their legs, it takes a long time because the stem cell activity is so low. Right? It will heal, but it's very low because the stem cell activity is very low. So you will see that stem cells can change to be fat cells, to be bone cells, to be the blood cells. Our blood, after 120 days, which is 3 months, will die. That's why when you go and give your donation of blood, it's okay. Because if you don't donate, anyway, your blood cells will die. Your red blood cells, okay? Within 120 days, it dies. So new red blood cells will start coming up. And that's from the stem cells, from the bones. So nervous cells, which is your nerves, usually when you cut the nerve, very hard to heal. Epithelial cells is the lining of your internal organs, like the stomach and intestines. Immune cell, which we need because a lot of infection. You need immunity, right? Sex cells, the sperm and the egg, you need to reproduce. So all these comes from stem cells. Professor Yamanaka, who is a Japanese professor, he won the Nobel Prize in 2012. Nobel Prize to win is not easy, right? Nobel Prize in stem cells, in terms of, he discovered mature cells can be reprogrammed to become pluripotent cells. That is, adult cells that we have, they can take it out, reprogram it into pluripotent, means a cell that can change into many different types of cells, like bone cells, blood cells, so that you can use that to heal. So basically it's taking your cells, reprogram it to be pluripotent cells, which is iPSC cells, induced pluripotent stem cells. So bring back to stem cells. So stem cell research is actually now happening and very hot in the medical field for regenerative medicine, right? And regenerative medicine is to heal our injury in ourselves. Every one of us has some injury. Every one of us need X39. But not every one of us want it. So sometimes I tell people, this is good for you because my intention is to help you, right? But they may not want it, which is fine. I just share with you what is good for you, for your condition. So stem cells, past, present, and future. In the past, in 1980s, the scientists derived the cells from mouse. The mouse embryos, the baby, right? In the late 90s, what happens? We managed to derive human embryonic stem cells. Embryonic means from the embryo. And then in the 2000s, which is 2012, Professor Yamanaka found he can reprogram adult cells to become iPSC cells, induced pluripotent stem cells, so that you can heal many conditions in the body. That's the past. Presently, there are different types of stem cells that have been discovered now. Stem cells now can have more uses, including wound healing. That's why you see X39 healing wounds. Carnosine helps to heal wounds. Facilitating spinal cord injury, which is nerves. I showed you initially, stem cells can become nerve cells, right? So to heal. Healing osteoarthritis, people always have knee pain as they grow old, yeah? Or fongsap, rheumatism. But that is actually osteoarthritis, inflammation of the bones and the joints. And usually it's the knee. And you can put a lot of medicine, injection stem cells into the knee. Not very effective. Effective for some, but not effective for others. But it's very expensive. So one other way is to use the patches. And treating inflammatory conditions. Our body has always got inflammation. That's why you hear X39 in the morning, Aeon at night. Aeon decrease inflammation. All our bodies have inflammation. Alright, at some point or other, sure got inflammation. That's why X39 morning, Aeon at night. Future, develop personalized medicine to each person. Your condition is different from the next person. So personalized medicine, that's the future. Ability to repair, replace damaged tissues and organs. Potential to treat current incurable neurological disease. Because the nerve is very hard. Once you cut the nerve, very hard to regrow the nerve. People who have stroke in the brain, difficult, right? People who have cut nerves or the fingers that are cut, you don't feel anymore, very hard. So the future is looking into also neurological diseases. Alzheimer's, dementia, these are all the neurological diseases that most of us would progress to at some point in time. Current stem cell therapy, there are some issues, that's why in some areas it cannot be done, like Singapore, you cannot inject stem cells. Malaysia, you can. Thailand, you can. So, there are some ethical issues, not issues, just some concerns. You know, Singapore government is super kiasu. So, that's why in Singapore you can't do it. In terms of injection of stem cells. Accessibility, not many people can access. Costly, super expensive. In Malaysia, if you know the previous leader, he goes to Switzerland every year for injection of stem cells. 50 to 70,000 US dollar. Then he goes back to Malaysia, he takes stem cell supplements. 1 month probably about 1,000 Sing. Right? So I don't know whether he's using it in the patches or not, but it is super expensive, yeah? Effectiveness not guaranteed 100%, results may not last forever. Laurent Picard, in 1973, which is 50 years ago, he is the one who discovered GHK-CU. This is the tripeptide. Tri means three. Peptide is amino acid put together. Okay? So you have glycine, histidine, and lysine. I don't know why it's K, but K is lysine, which is the amino acid. Amino acid is the building blocks of protein. If you think of Lego, you have these Lego blocks, right? When you're going to build something, you've got to put Lego blocks together. So the amino acid are like Lego blocks. Copper is copper, like a mineral. So he discovered GHK-CU. He put liver cells into 80-year-old person, the blood into the young person, 20 years old, and he found that liver cells started to behave in the young manner, back to the young days, right? And healthy cells. Turned out that GHK-CU was causing the older cells to behave like younger cells. So what do we need to do? We need to increase our GHK-CU in our body. Right? Whether a young person or an older person, we still need to increase our GHK-CU in our bodies. The real power of GHK-CU or GHK copper okay, before I go on to here, to have X39 activate and stimulate our body to produce more GHK-CU, you need to have the GHK and copper in your body. Right? You cannot have not enough in your body, then you stimulate nothing. Right? So where do you think you can get your G, the H, and the K, and the copper? Anybody? Just shout out. Food. Right. So what kind of food do you need to take? Meat? Eggs? That's good. So, internal organs? Some, yeah, like liver. So, you need to have sufficient GHK-CU in your body first. Right? I'm not asking you to eat a lot, but to make sure that you have that. Otherwise, you patch also no use. You get a very shriveled, cachexic person without any nutrition. That's why Jonas was saying nutrition is important. Without any nutrition, you patch also not much of a use. You will see AY patch, nothing happens. Yeah. So, complete protein. There are 20 amino acids in a complete protein. Our body can produce 11 of these amino acids. 9 of these amino acids our body cannot produce. We need to take. Right? To make it 9 plus 11, 911, 911 is 20. Right? So 20 is a complete protein which has 20 amino acids. The 9 we have to eat, 11 our body produce. Right? Our body can produce the glycine, the G. It's part of the 11. The 9 we have to eat, right, from food. The 9 will have the histidine, H, and the K, the lysine. So if you don't eat, you cannot get that. Right? So eggs is a good, or egg white is a good protein. Fish, meat is a good area to get. But where do you get copper? You don't need that much copper, but you get some copper in your body. Copper? Dark chocolate. Yeah, dark chocolate, if it's in the 75 to 80% cocoa, yeah, that's the one to take, but not too much because it's also sweet. That gives you copper. Oyster gives you copper. Lobster gives you copper. But of course, those are expensive things. You can eat green leafy vegetables, also gives you copper. Alright, so cheap and good. Okay, GHK-CU, now you know GHK-CU, where to get it from. And how do you stimulate it? X39. Right? Stimulate, increase GHK-CU. So this resets the genes to a younger, healthier state of our body. And of course, I say clinical trials, right? We need proof, we need evidence, and here is the evidence. This is a 1987 paper done, regenerative and protective actions of GHK-CU peptide in the light of new gene data. Just to show you that there is proof. What is the biggest organ in our body? Skin. Very good. Skin makes up about 16% of our body weight, right? The other organs in our body, like brain, heart, liver, these are quite big organs. We have about 79 organs, but skin is the biggest organ in our body. So you see X39 helps in tightening loose skin, reversing thinning of our aged skin. You see, older people, the skin very thin, very wrinkled, right? So, GHK-CU resets that. It repairs protective skin barrier proteins, improves skin firmness, elasticity, and clarity. So all those who like sweet one, want to look nice and younger, that's GHK-CU, will help you. Reduce fine lines, deep wrinkles, improve structure of the aged skin, smoothen out the rough skin, reduce photo damage, mottled hyperpigmentation, skin spots. If you go to your sun, if you go into the sun, you have a lot of skin spots, okay? Either here or here. So don't leave home without, not Amex, don't leave home without sunscreen. Make sure you put your sunscreen. Otherwise, you got to do a lot of other things, spend a lot of money. Don't leave home without your sunscreen. Even this light will give you pigmentation. I got 3 minutes left, okay? Improve oral skin appearance, stimulate wound healing, protect skin from ultraviolet radiation. UV light, which is the sun. What other things that it does besides the skin? For GHK-CU, it produces anti-aging at cellular level and also age reversal. Okay, it reverses age. Later, I'll give you one more slide. Reduce pain, reduce anxiety, repair damage, DNA in our cells, promote organ regeneration, as I said, stem cells, right? Regeneration, suppress production of fibrinogen, reduces tendency of blood clots. We don't have blood clots, otherwise we get problem, get stroke. Improve blood flow, reduce inflammation, and increase hair growth. Every one of us will drop hair, or most people will drop hair as we grow older. And every one of us wants to preserve the hair. So, X39, X49 has been known to have increased hair growth and thickness. The paper will come out soon. Different approaches to light, as Jonas was saying, maybe jaundice, wonder light. So light is the one that activates X39. X39 activated by light, which is our body light, which is infrared light from our body, which comes out, activates X39, reflects back into our skin, brings out GHK-CU, and then we have our stem cell regeneration and healing that happens inside our body. Clinical papers, as I said, if I don't have all this, I won't tell you. Patch X39. X39 is actually the Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce of Dr. David Smith's patches at this point in time. Alright? Okay, this shows that it increases the GHK-CU. Proof again is a 2021 paper, very recent paper. It shows that X39 patch for 1 week in individuals 40 to 80 is clinically very significant. If you see P value, which is 0.03, is good. Anything that's less than 0.05 means it is significant. Means it's proven that this is clinically and statistically significant. Reverse aging, within 6 months, if you patch X39, we're going to finish in 1 minute. No change, it's 3 months, at 6 months, you show that 8.5 years age reversal, not anti-aging. Anti-aging is delay your aging. Age reversal is from there, reverse your age by approximately 8.5 years. New approach, I won't go through whatever I told you just now. These are the summary. Just some pictures for you to see in terms of the skin, how it becomes younger, age reversal. Wound healing, it heals wounds. Here, 13 months, 9 days, 20 days, 2 hours. Hair growth. Right, so very important, balanced diet, enough sleep, supplements whenever necessary. Don't have to repeat a lot of supplements you're taking. Train regularly, resistance, you know, must drink water, right? Whenever you patch, avoid things known to degrade your health, like stress, alcohol, smoking, and drugs. Okay. Thank you very much.